Hey, what's going on guys? Coach Seth here. So today we're talking about 1 rep max. So the biggest thing in this video is how to measure your 1 rep max, which I'm going to go over. But we're also going to talk about the 4 exercises that I like to test with the 1 rep max. We're going to talk about the benefits of testing your 1 rep max and knowing your 1 rep max. And I'm going to talk about and kind of show you the process that I go through each time I test the 1 rep max. But if you're new here, my name is Seth Thomas and I'm a strength and conditioning coach, helping you become a better athlete for basketball. So if you're interested in more videos just like this one, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single upload. And as always, make sure to go in the description and check out my programs. They're completely free, so make sure to check those out. Okay, so the reason I wanted to make this video is because knowing these numbers is going to be very helpful for a number of different reasons. Now, this is not a powerlifting channel or anything, so we're not lifting heavy weight just for the sake of lifting heavy weight. On this channel, we lift heavy weight so it can help us perform better on the court. But knowing these numbers is going to be very helpful for programming and also goal setting to increase your strength. So before we go any farther, I want to make you guys understand that this is not for somebody that is a beginner. Beginner meaning if you haven't experienced at all with strength training or with extra resistance like weightlifting or anything like that, then you're not ready to test your 1 rep max. What I would do for somebody in that situation is lots of body weight exercises, at least for a couple weeks, just to help get the motor pattern down for the mechanics of these big compound exercises. You want to stick with the body weight until you get to a good position to where you can start adding the extra resistance. So what exercises do we need to test? There are 4 main movements that I like to test for the 1 rep max: the squat, deadlift, bench press, and overhead press. Now, there's a couple other exercises that you can maybe throw in there, but these are the 4 ones that I like to go towards. You maybe do something like a bent over row. I've just never really focused on weight and focused on a 1 rep max of a bent over row. To me, it just seems weird and it doesn't make that much sense. But these 4 exercises is what I tend to go towards and what makes the most sense to have that 1 rep max number. So past the metrics of these 4 exercises, I would just focus on hypertrophy and just progressive overload rather than focusing on trying to increase that 1 rep max of any of the other exercises. So no need to know the 1 rep max of the preacher curl. All right, so we talked about the benefits of knowing the 1 rep max. We talked about the 4 exercises. Now let's go into the actual process that I usually go through to actually test my 1 rep max. So you can kind of use the same process of all these exercises, but I'm going to use the example of a squat for this video. But before we do anything, we got to make sure we prepare in advance when we're gonna do our test. So say I want to test my 1 rep max, I would plan that a week, maybe even 2 weeks down the road. And that's if you're not in any current program. If you're right smack in the middle of a program, I would wait until you get done with that program. Or if you're about to start a program, I think it's a great idea to test your 1 rep max before you get into that program. But unless the program calls for it, just wait until the end to test your 1 rep max. So yeah, like I said, 1 to 2 weeks in advance to know when you're going to do it, just so you can plan for it, just so nothing gets in the way. You know, you just want a really accurate reading. You don't want anything to be affected by it. The more accurate this number is, the better. So I would go into this workout with this focus in mind, and that's it. So that could mean the only thing you do that day is squats. Now, I'm not saying that's how you have to do it, but it is a good idea to do that just so you have maximum focus on this exercise. Once you get done with the squat, then you can focus on some accessories and whatnot. But make sure to have that maximum focus during this day. So always make sure to go through a proper warm-up. I have a video of a dynamic warm-up I usually go through before I do something like this. And really, it's pretty much the same process before you do any of your workouts, any of your leg workouts at least. 5 to 10 minutes of a warm-up. Just make sure to not go crazy on this warm-up because you want to get loose, but you don't want to overtax yourself at the same time. So once I get done with my dynamic movements, I then go right into the squats. And I always start off with the bar just to kind of get the movement pattern down and just to psychologically help me throughout this process. So I get like 2 to 3 sets of warm-up sets and just slowly build up. And I've done squats for a while, so I kind of have an idea of where I would be. So that makes it a lot easier whenever you go to warm up. Because sometimes what'll happen is you'll do the bar, then you'll do 135, and then you'll do 185, and then you'll realize, oh, that wasn't enough, I need to put more, and then that 225 wasn't enough, and then you go to put more, and by that time you're going to be pretty fatigued. Then it kind of affects the score a little bit. Don't think about it too much in that sense, but having an idea is going to help a lot. So what I did was I started off with the bar. I go pretty low on reps, maybe about 3 to 4 reps with the bar. You can maybe get 2 sets of just the bar and then add weight. Now whenever I add weight, I think with the 135 I've done 3 reps, and then whenever you rest, you want to rest about 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes. You want to get a good amount of rest in. Now you don't want to rest 10 minutes or something like that, then your body's going to get a little bit stiff. So 90 seconds to 3 minutes, that's a good range of rest time. After that 135, I count those 2 settings as my warm-up reps, 3 to 4 on each of those. And then once I get up to 185, that's the next one I do. I just do 1 rep of it because I know I'm creeping up once I get to that point. So this is kind of like the working set. I knew it was going to increase by that, but I don't want to jump from 135 to 225. That's a little bit too big of a jump for me. So I did the 185 and then I increased it to 225. And once again, I just done 1 rep of that. Once I done that, I went up to 275. This was a pretty good process. I guess it's like 5 sets. Make sure and don't go overboard on the reps. Like I said, you don't want to overtax yourself or anything. So just try to keep the reps low and try to have an idea of what you can do. And it's always about safety first. So if you don't have the form down very good on a squat, don't worry about doing your 1 rep max. It's definitely not worth getting injured over. So just be very, very careful, and if necessary, make sure to have a spotter. If you don't have a spotter, make sure you have something that can stop the weight if you were to not be able to get it. Just go through all the precautions of doing something like this. If you're somebody that just don't have the confidence to do a 1 rep max, it's definitely for a more experienced type of lifter. I wanted to make it a little bit easier and a little bit for somebody that's kind of intimidated to do a 1 rep max. So a safe way to do it is just to use a 1 rep max calculator. So I'll make sure to put this calculator in the description below. So make sure to click on that. It's not going to be that accurate, but it will give you a good range of your 1 rep max. So my question to you guys is, what is your 1 rep max for the squat? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single upload. And I'll see you guys next time.